So I asked my wife if I could go to the Indy 500 this year. She said, sure, provided I don't have to go. So we did that. I brought my daughter Miranda and son-in-law Dan. Now Dan and Miranda are not married. Dan's married to the other daughter. But we went out to Indianapolis, spent the week. Our goal was to attend the Indy 500. Hey, why not? We're race people. It's what we do. And it might well be, one of the last times we get to go do this. The plan was to recreate a trip that I had taken years ago with Dick Jordan and our buddy Johnny Butler. We followed USAC around for the week. So each night we go to a different racetrack and we get to watch the races there and see parts of Indiana and follow around, and it all culminates at the Indy 500 on Sunday. Well, of course, you have a lot of downtime in between when you get up in the morning and you have to be at the racetrack at night. So there's lots of other things to do. And go to the Indianapolis Motor Speedway Museum. It's a brand new place, or recently remodeled, let's call it, and wander through and see what you can see. Well, we're partial to the National Motor Car Company, which was based out of Indiana, and we happen to know some people who have these things, and they're wonderful. That's my favorite era there. And National was based in Indiana itself, so they were very key to the early development of the Speedway, and we just love that sort of thing. The way the museum is laid out, and this is not a comprehensive thing for the museum here by any means, they have lots of cars. You can get really close to them. Now, you don't want to be reaching over the rail and touching these things, but you can get right up close to them. My only knock on it is a lot of times they wind up looking like models because they're so clean and so well lit and so well, a little bit bothersome that way, but gosh, you get right up close. We love the stickers on this car, this old Unser car. This is a pre-wing era, which was really, I think when the wings showed up, it changed the game so much. Anyways, so first night out, Wednesday, go to Terre Haute. Well, we went to the museum that morning, of course, and we did find our way out to Terre Haute, which means, I think, red dirt or something along those lines. It's in the western part of the state, about an hour and a half west of Indianapolis. And on our way there, we stopped to tip our hats to Jungle Park, an ancient speedway, still preserved. Speedway's not there any longer, but the grounds are there. You can find it. Be respectful, tip your hat, and go from there. There is nobody there to show you around or tell you any stories, and so you just tread lightly as you go out this way. It's a wonderful drive. It's just north of Terre Haute a little bit. You can find it if you want to. The grandstands are well preserved because they have a modern roof over them to help preserve them. My understanding is they have annual events once or twice per year, and that's what the racetrack looks like, with Dan standing out there on it. You're not going to be able to take a lap on that thing anytime soon. Anyways, so we did that. Then we got down to Terre Haute. We had a problem at Terre Haute. There was so much rain the night before that the track was completely saturated. They could not get the water out of the track in time for us to race at Terre Haute, which was too bad because we really wanted to see your sprint cars on dirt. And now they tell us this track is a half mile. I think it's bigger than that. I really do. So next morning, we're supposed to go to Circle City on Thursday night, and we decided to kill some time. We went to the Indianapolis Zoo. It's downtown. Wonderful place. We saw everything from butterflies to elephants. Nice place. If you're out there and you're doing a trip like this, go to the zoo. It's a wonderful place. We enjoyed ourselves there, no doubt about it. And so a little bit later that afternoon, before we knew we were rained out at Circle City, we went over to the Speedway. And mind you, this is Thursday, so you can walk right up to the place as you can virtually any other time of the year, and you own the place. And it was fabulous. And then a couple of days later, you can't get close to that. Well, we got rained out at Circle City, so that's how that went. We went to the go-kart track, had ourselves some fun, and did that. And the next morning we got up and decided we'll go to the next place on our list, which was all we could do, just kind of roll with it. And we went out to IRP. That sound right there, that's what we do. Yes. You can get right up close to that. This is a very nice track. They also had these things, the USF Pro 2000. They're sanctioned by USAC Racing. They look kind of like Indy cars. Yeah, they mostly run road courses, that sort of thing. Not a lot of passing going on. Not a lot of passing going on in that Silver Crown race either, because they're on pavement. But we did finally get to see some racing, so we were happy with that. And the crowd did fill in. Wonderful track, nice facility. We had a pretty good time of it, meeting a lot of Indiana folks. So the next day we're going up to Anderson, and we discovered on this folding AAA map that we got here in Los Angeles, this museum. Here's the map, and it shows a zoom over the general area of Indianapolis. And way up here, just kind of at random, we spotted this on the map. Museum of Miniature Houses and Other Collections. What in the world is that? Well, on our way to Anderson, we decided, let's drive by that and see what we can see. And this is what we saw. We figured we'll kill an hour on our way, before lunch. We were in there for a couple hours. Just astounding, the level of detail and craftsmanship that goes into these kind of things. It's very much like, call it model railroading. These guys create these houses, and on the inside, all the detail. They make the clothes, they do the painting, everything is to scale. The museum itself is essentially an old house. So imagine an old house with every room filled with this very type of craftsmanship. It's wonderful. We got to laughing at ourselves for catching so many stories, and we started making up stories to go with each of the rooms, which I think is part of the goal of what these people were doing back then when they made these. And they're wonderful. Even had themes. Here was Sherlock Holmes' office, and you've got teacups on the table and newspapers on the floor, and it was astounding. As I say, we spent much more time there than we thought we would, and thoroughly enjoyed it. And it was just off the beaten path. Fabulous. We had no guide on our tour. We had no Indiana guy showing us around like I did a few years ago. So we ran into a lot of these type of things along the way. No way we're going to put the whole thing up here for everything we encountered on our trip, but these were a couple of the highlights, and this was definitely something different. So we stayed on the highways instead of getting on the interstate, and we were on 500 and just happened to cross 500 North at a random stop sign. So we're 500 and 500 on our way to the Little 500 at Anderson Speedway in the town of Anderson, Indiana, which is just north and slightly east of Indianapolis. And driving around, of course, doesn't bother Southern California people. We got there early, and you can see bright, sparkly day from turn one. This is a quarter-mile paved track, steep banking. They wound up pitting on the inside, give you a good look around the place. The grandstands go almost all the way around. Oh, it's wonderful. We didn't get any race footage because we just didn't want to do that. We were so busy watching the race. So while we were up here in this turn 4 grandstand, ran into this fellow with a Saga Speedway shirt. And he has a copy of the Saga Speedway scrapbook and was just very grateful that I made that book. We had a nice chat. Well, here's the ceremonial parade lap. They start 33 sprint cars, 11 wide, 11 deep. They run 3 wide, 11 deep. That's how they start the race. Most times they get off without drama. This time they did not. And we finally got tired of watching them pick up cars, and they were so slow with that. And so we left before the end of that race. That doesn't matter. Next day, early, we're at the Indy 500. These were our seats. We got these seats at random, purchased them online, and I only knew that we wanted to have grandstand seats as opposed to general admission seats, which are a little less expensive. You could get to the infield and sit there, bring your own lawn chair and cooler if you want. Opening ceremonies, Apache helicopters, wonderful. Miranda, Dan, me, 360,000 of our closest friends all got in there. If you run into me sometime, ask about the frat boys. Oh, we got good frat boy stories. They were great. That's the dudes just sitting there to our right. They were terrific. So here's what it looked like underway in the race, coming from our left around the fourth turn. I'm just sitting down. Everybody behaved themselves. Wonderful. Look at them go. And if you look straight in front of you, I shot this one on purpose. Straight in front of you, you can't read the numbers on the cars. It just doesn't happen. I don't know how guys in the way back days kept track of what was going on the track because, wow, it's so big. And then looking to your right, and start finish line, the pylon is down there, way down there to our right. But that's what it looked like from our left, straight in front, and down to the right. And there it is. The Indianapolis 500 is a great event. It's a lousy place to watch an actual race, but man, what a week. There you go.